The best kept secret for lifelong learning is in your own backyard, but how many of you take advantage of it? Learn about this opportunity when we come back.
In January, it's so nice, while swimming on the sliding ice. To sip hot chicken soup with rice, sipping once, sipping twice, sipping chicken soup with rice. It ain't right go away, too far, stay roll away, and dream about my soup all day. One by once, one by twice, eating chicken soup with rice, chicken soup with rice.
Hi, I'm Bruce Grantham, and welcome to Our Children, Our Future, a program about education and the South San Francisco Unified School District. On tonight's program, we're going to be talking about the older children in our school district. If you're a recent immigrant looking to improve your English, if you need to get that high school diploma that evaded you so many years ago, or a GED certificate for a job application or the military, if you're looking to improve or learn a job skill, your community adult school can provide you that and so much more, free or at little cost. Yet it seems that adult schools are often a community's best-kept secret. With me is Larry Teixeira, Director of San Mateo Adult School. Larry, thank you for coming on tonight.
My pleasure, Bruce. Thanks for having me.
Larry, why are adult schools often the best-kept secret in the community, and should they be?
Well, of course they shouldn't be. Everyone needs to know about adult schools. I think it has primarily to do with familiarity. You know, most of us had the opportunity to go to school. Most of us had the opportunity to go to high school. So when you talk about kindergartens or high schools or colleges, most people, even if they didn't attend, they're familiar with that. But a lot of folks haven't been exposed to the programs of adult schools. I think that's the main reason. But actually, adult schools in San Mateo County serve more students than the community colleges do. And actually, 2 out of 3 adult learners in California attend adult schools rather than colleges.
I want to get back to that first question. What's the common perception of what an adult school is?
Oh, probably the old idea of a night school, someone going to night school after work to try to improve, maybe to learn English or to learn a new job skill to improve in the country. I think also, too, that adult schools, many of them don't have prominent campuses. My school happens to have a rather prominent campus, but many of our programs are located in off-campus sites. So therefore, since we don't have a central focus, like we have many programs in rec centers and centers for older adults, senior centers, and church basements and things like that, I think that's another reason why the low visibility.
And certainly for the many students that participate in adult schools in our county, it's not the best kept secret, and I'm sure they share it with everybody else, yet there's still that perception in the community.
Yes, we do publish a brochure. All of us are obligated. You and I both publish brochures several times each year. But I do think that most of our constituents come by word of mouth. I think that's our best advertising, absolutely.
What's the role of the adult school in California education system-wide?
Well, the adult schools primarily serve what we call the 10 mandated areas. They're not really mandated, but the word mandate comes from the fact that the state will reimburse you for providing these services. If you provide services outside the mandated areas, they do not get state reimbursement. All adult schools...
Which means then you have to charge for those classes?
There has to be a charge for that. That's right. They have to be self-supporting. Most adult schools, they each have their own profile, I might say, and each of the ones in San Mateo County has a slightly different profile. But they focus on 10 major areas: ESL,
English as a second language.
That's a second language. Citizenship preparation, program for older adults. In our case, it's called the 50-plus program. Each school defines older a little bit differently. I qualify.
Older's getting older all the time.
I qualify for all the definitions. Adults with disabilities. Short-term vocational programs for people trying to improve their job skills. You mentioned in your entry secondary education, GED and diploma preparation, basic adult, parent education, health and safety, and everything else falls under the umbrella of community ed, which would be fee-based programs for which the state does not support. We provide the oversight, but the cost of the course must be absorbed by fees.
How, in California, you've got the K-12 system. You've got the community college system. You have the 4-year state universities and universities. Where does adult education play in that continuum? You don't hear adult ed mentioned when you talk about all those other systems.
That's right, because we are actually part of the K-12 system. Both you and I work for our local school superintendents and for our local school boards. And we are one of the categorical programs. Folks hear about categorical funding for special programs. We are basically a state categorical program, and it's funded through the K-12 school districts.
How many adult schools are there in San Mateo County, and how many students do they serve?
Well, we have about 5 adult schools in San Mateo County, and we serve a total of about 30 to 35,000 students.
Can we see those slides now so that maybe folks out there with a paper and pencil can jot numbers and websites down?
Yeah, our smallest school is Cabrillo Adult School, which serves the coast.
About how many students?
About 500. Jefferson Adult School in Daly City serves about 9,000 students annually. San Mateo Adult School, we're the big player in the county. We serve about 15,000 students from San Bruno to Foster City. Sequoia Adult School serves the Sequoia High School District, Redwood City, Woodside, Belmont, and San Carlos, and serves about 9,000 students. And your very own South San Francisco Adult School in South San Francisco, serving about 4,500 students.
And we'll hear more about the South San Francisco Adult School in the segments following this one.
Oh, good.
Let's talk about the value of adult education in a community, and maybe you can use your school as an example, but of what value is adult ed in a community?
Well, our 2 largest programs for our school are English second language, citizenship preparation, and older adults, and those are the 2 largest growing communities. Actually, in our school district, the school-age population is declining, but the immigrant population is growing, and the older adult population is growing. So we are there servicing folks. We actually, I think that adult ed has the following advantages. One, I think it's accessible. Unfortunately, the college campuses in San Mateo County are viewed as kind of inaccessible. They're all up on the hill. They're away from the central city where public transportation is rather easy. Most adult schools are accessible. As I mentioned, we have a number of locations in the community. Our main campus is in San Mateo, but we have programs operating in all the other communities. Flexibility. People can start a class at virtually any time. Some classes, of course, have to be scheduled, but many of them are open entry, open exit. You can come 1 or 2 nights a week to the class or attend all 4 nights a week. It's affordable, and in addition to having no cost for most classes or maybe a small material fee, it's also non-bureaucratic. It's not complicated. You don't have to purchase expensive materials. You don't have to pay for a parking permit. You don't have to join a larger bureaucracy. You can just simply maybe more like a storefront schoolhouse that's easily accessible to people. And I think it's also very taxpayer friendly. As you know, Bruce, we get a lot less money per student than a community college or even a high school would get per student.
About 50% less.
About 50% less, and I think we should be very proud of the fact that the taxpayer gets a lot of bang for their buck.
In closing, Larry, what do you see as the future of adult education in California?
Well, we're focusing on the past because we're celebrating in the year 2006 150 years of adult education in California, and actually we're right at the homeland here. The very first adult school classes were held at St. Mary's Church in San Francisco, and as part of a conference next month in San Francisco, visitors are going to see the original site of the first class. And these classes were called Americanization. It was to teach people the English language, which was often their first literate language. Like my grandfather did not read or write any language when he immigrated here. So it was necessary for adult schools to be formed to bring these people into the mainstream. Later, perhaps help them prepare for citizenship, give them some vocational training so they can improve their lot and become full citizens. And I think we're kind of cycling back again. As we're into the 90s now, we're having, again, large immigrant populations that need these same services. So I think it's a very valuable asset to the community.
So we kind of come full circle.
Full circle, I would say. Probably in the 50s and 60s, our missions became more diverse, but certainly in the 80s and 90s, we've returned to our first mission.
Larry, thank you for this very comprehensive overview of what adult education is all about. We're going to take a brief break, and when we come back, we're going to get a close look at the South San Francisco adult education program. So stay with us.
January is so nice. Walk women on sliding ice.
Prudential California Realty is pleased to support the South San Francisco Unified School District. With several offices located throughout the South Bay, we help home buyers realize their dreams of ownership and sellers maximize their home investment. Prudential California Realty is a longtime partner with education, having created the Education Foundation in 1992, which provides grants to teachers throughout Northern California. Prudential California Realty, your partner in real estate.
You've always been like a son to me, Mikey. And that's why I find it unfortunate that we're in